Sound is everywhere. It's the first thing you experience when you wake up in the morning, and it's the most consistent stimulus you experience throughout the day. How would you like to experience sound? What if I told you that the way you currently experience sound is limited, because existing audio technologies haven't evolved in the past 3 decades, restricting communication abilities in an era where content is king? This makes it difficult to implement the next generation of audio solutions, and while consumers are already spending an average of 7 hours a day consuming content, companies are struggling to provide those experiences in audio as they have with other formats such as video. Hello, my name is Valtteri Salamäki, and I'm the CEO of Edge Sound Research. Our company is reimagining what it means to experience sound. But this entire journey began with my co-founder, Ethan Castro. So Ethan, can you tell us about your childhood?
I was born with 2 main elements, Tourette's syndrome and also hard of hearing. The hard of hearing kind of affected me early on because I was excluded from many things that people were able to enjoy, such as hearing my friends call my name from across the playground, hearing my teachers in class, or even hearing my parents when they're trying to call me. My doctors, when I went to go for checkups, said that, hey, as long as you don't go into music, you'll be just fine. Doing my doctorate in music. So obviously to the chagrin, I went the opposite way that they were expecting. And in order to do that, I had to really recalibrate the way I was associating or interacting with sound. Normally, people rely on their ears to be able to hear what's going on in a session or in a mixed environment or when you're creating music. And obviously that doesn't work for me. Many times I would export what was happening in my song, what I thought what I was hearing, and it would sound very different elsewhere. And it became very clear to me I couldn't rely on my ears to be able to know what was happening. So to compensate, I started touching my speakers and putting my hands on the drivers and feeling them vibrate against my fingertips. And that caused a couple things to happen. It caused an extra sensation, but it also caused reliability. I was able to reliably tell what was happening in the song because I was able to physically touch it in a way that my room wouldn't interact with it. When speakers hit the back of the room, they caused much feedback and echo, but by me touching and coupling myself to my speakers, meaning I got the most direct signal I could possibly get. That helped me all the way through my 3rd degree here as a doctorate in music and completely transformed the way I interact with sound. Now, as a professional audio engineer, music engineer, and sound technician, I wanted a way to figure out how to share the way I interact with sound with other people. And so that's what I've been focusing on in my doctorate, is trying to create technology that would help others be able to experience sound the way I do.
We actually have to understand what the 3 different formats of audio are that have evolved over time. And that begins with mono, moves to stereo, and then it goes to surround. But it's actually probably better that almost Dr. Castro here explains what those 3 formats are.
Okay, great. Mono is very similar to what you have in your smartphone, which means you're getting a single source of audio. There's no directionality to it. It's fine if you can get all of the signal across, but you're really missing a crucial piece of element, which is depth and surround, which is why stereo came into play, where you have 2 speaker sources set up, and that gives you the impression of depth and surround. While not giving you discrete surround, it gives you the impression of surround. And we've been able to use and come a long way with just stereo for a long time. But of course, the next step that we all know is surround. We initially started with having discrete channels, 5.1, 7.1, and found their ways into home theaters and movie theaters alike, and has been superseded by Dolby Atmos and DTS:X. And those are fantastic for giving you positionality, but they're still missing a core element. When you hear someone talking in person, you're not just hearing them, but you're feeling the sound waves go across your body. That's how you know when someone's talking to you from this direction or this direction. And that's a huge element that we're still missing, and that no matter how many speakers you put up around, you're never gonna get. Normally, this requires large subwoofers and lots of power to be able to push sound waves against your body to give you the impression that something's touching you. That's some way to physically interact with sound. But there's another way to have your body directly coupled to the speaker, just like how I did growing up. And I think that if you can touch sound, you can have that same sensation without relying on giant bulky speakers and have to rely on certain perfect sound setups in order to get that same experience. This developed into a technology that we call embodied sound, which allows your whole body to feel sound.
Wait, you can feel sound? Actually, yes, you can. These are things like haptics and tactile audio, and haptics are everywhere. As we attended CES, we saw haptics in almost every single implementation. To define what haptics are, think of, if you ever played video games before, the sensation of Rumble Pack back in the OG days. Now you have haptics in your PlayStation 5 controller where you actually get trigger sensitivity, you can feel textures within the game, but it's this tapping sensation that you're getting overall. With existing tactile audio solutions, you can currently only feel low frequency vibrations. So this feels like a personal subwoofer that is attached to your body, which is emitting sound as you're listening to music, but you're still gonna have to have a headset or a speaker to get the full audio experience, which is still limited in the overall scope of the experiences you can have.
So check this out. For my PhD, I literally tried everything. I was so excited about the concept of trying to share with somebody else the way that I interact with sound that I went and I tried every single possible solution there was that claimed or said that they were able to help you feel sound or hear sound differently. I've tried bone conduction headphones, rumble packs on your body, tactile audio packs on your body, every single bass shaker unit that is in existence, and also smaller versions of them called exciters, which allow you to resonate on specific surfaces. Big ones and small ones, large and micro. I've tried everything. And all of these experiments and all of these years have led me to come up with the conclusion that we're just not there yet in something that reliably generates the same experience that I was experiencing growing up. The way that I can immerse myself into a sound experience, the way that doesn't exist anywhere else, the way that almost as if you were inside of a speaker to have the most discrete and immersive sensation you could possibly have with your sound source. Over 2 years of nonstop prototyping, trying, researching, and implementation, we've been able to create prototype after prototype of trying to create these demo units that can express what this idea of feeling sound is to somebody else. And through these years, we've refined and perfected and tested and broke many different units, and finally came to a point where we have something that I think is extraordinarily compelling that exemplifies what we can do with this technology. And we call it experiential audio. Experiential audio is the next evolution from tactile audio, for instead of just having the low frequencies and the sub frequencies that are what's interacting with your body, it's actually the entire amount of tactile audio frequency space and the entire audible frequency space, which means that you're also hearing and feeling the entire frequency spectrum at the same time, just like how I did when I was growing up. Getting to this point is just the first step of experiential audio. Being able to hear and feel the whole frequency spectrum is step one. The next step is figuring out how to make it interact with your existing world. If you install an experiential audio speaker or sound device in your walls, we can, using psychoacoustics and other really cool DSP effects, digital signal processing effects, we can make it appear or seem like there's more things happening at the same time from only 2 speakers. We can make things sound bigger. We can make things seem smaller. We can make things seem more compact. We can make things seem like there's more punch. We can do all sorts of signal processing that has already been invented from years of learning how to manage the deficiencies of speakers and apply those to tactile audio and create never before felt, seen, or heard experiences that'll completely elevate and blow anything else out of the water. Through all of our demo and testing phases, we've been able to condense it all into a single unit called the Resin X, which is the first device ever to be compact enough for you to take home and experience experiential audio today.
Now, what does this mean for the future of audio? This allows us to replace physical speakers and turn any physical thing into the best audio experience of your life. So imagine your walls, your kitchen table, or your couch becoming that sound experience where you feel and hear everything. This allows for a more immersive and realistic audio experience, not just for some, but for all.